I'm currently sitting on the floor trying to get this work, and I low-key think I'm gonna have to restart the whole thing. Welcome back to Sid's Music, and today we're taking sounds that I recorded off of a cruise ship and trying to see if I can put them into an actual song. Last week I went on my first cruise ever, and the first thing I noticed was how many different sounds there were, from the ocean to the people at the pool to just the engine running or the horn. So I started thinking, what if instead of capturing my cruise through pictures and videos, which I still did, what if I captured sounds and tried to make a song with them? Well, that's exactly what I did. So here's a list of all the sounds I captured while on board. Number 1 was the waves. Number 2 was the horn of the ship. Number 3 was the emergency horn. And number 4 was just me banging on the metal of the actual ship. Anyways, also while walking around, I found a punching bag. After looking at all of these, I was feeling really confident while I'm on the boat. Now that I'm back, I'm not so sure how this is gonna work, and I'm low-key nervous. One of the first things I did was put all the audios that I gathered together just to see what it would sound like. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this project might be a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. The first thing that I wanna do is try to splice these up a little bit to make them individual sounds instead of just all combined and all random. It's for example, instead of 3 emergency horn sounds, we'll just use 1, and then I'll be able to break it up and actually add a little bit of a beat to it, or at least loop it and have that as an option. And then we're gonna try adding some, I think, drum beats. When I opened it up to start working, I realized I have made a grave mistake. So we've run into our first big problem, and that's the fact that I didn't hold a steady beat when I was playing on the cruise. So that kind of messes things up a lot, because how the heck are you supposed to have a song that can't hold steady rhythm? So we're gonna try to see what we can do to fix it. Best thing about audio engineering is the fact that I can cut down the part where I did do it in time and just loop it. So back to the loops to find the loop. First thing that I probably should have told you at the beginning of this video is I actually don't have a lot of experience working with Logic. I'm used to MuseScore, which is way simpler and the buttons are pretty simple. But that's not the type of music that I was creating. I can't really put these audios on sheet music and just try to get them to go. So this was also kind of a test run for me, because I want to create more songs but don't really know how to do this. So it kind of forced me to learn. I learned how to loop, I learned how to cut and splice things together. It was really interesting, and trying to get all these sounds to sound good together was virtually impossible at the beginning. I first just wanted to try to work with the sounds and see if I could find anything usable and try to morph it and kind of let it guide me, and that proved to be harder than I thought. I've been working on this thing for hours, and I'm about this close to giving up. I don't even have a melody down. I hate it so much, and I don't know what to do about it. One of the easiest ways to create music, especially on Logic Pro, is using loops. Loops are a bunch of different pre-recorded sounds that just loop over and over again. I knew that in this song I really wanted a shaker, so it honestly took me 30 minutes of looking through so many different types of shakers, and even just some different background sounds, some different drums and percussion that would kind of make this piece stand out. And in this part, I find one. If you'll notice, this wasn't the original sound that you heard at the beginning of this video. So what happened? Originally, I also had added in some trumpets and some guitar loops and thought, yeah, this is what it's gonna be, and even added a Soundwave synth in the back. But the more I was working with it, the more I realized this isn't actually sounding like I'm using what I recorded. It just sounds like I'm adding a bunch of cool things together, and faintly in the background you can hear the noise of the ship. And this is where things got a little bit tough. I'm currently sitting on the floor trying to get this work, and I low-key think I'm gonna have to restart the whole thing. So I did. Later that night, I decided this is not what I wanted this to sound like at all, and so I did completely restart. And let me tell you, when you've been working on a project for several days, as a fellow musician, you probably know restarting feels like the end of the world. But I sat down, I locked in, and just spent hours and hours working on it, trying to see if I could find some way to make things happen. So I really liked the shakers and the original metal beat from the first one, so I brought those back. But then I found out that I could take the sound of the horn and adjust its pitch. And then I was like, if I can do that with that, I'll make that my bass line. So what I did with the emergency horn was I split it into tiny little like beeps and put it on like the upbeat. So it kind of gave it like a like a little, you know what I'm saying? A little jam. And I'm not saying that when I completely restored it, I just left the loops out of it, because I didn't have anything that really made like a melody. So I found this, the whole reason I went on this cruise was I went with our jazz band and I recorded and did the video work for them. And so I went and I found this loop that's this really fun horn, trumpet, some kind of like mix of these things with a cool little melody. And I was like, this is perfect. This fits great. I put that in, and at this point it was sounding really good, but it was like hollow, if that makes sense. Like the middle part of the piece was missing. So I went in and I tried a bajillion different loops, but the one I ended up sticking with was 2. I put a drum kit in just to add a little bit more percussive sound, and then I also went in and added the Slinky Groove guitar bridge. It just came in with a da 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 da, which filled in some of those upbeats and straight up downbeats that I used with the horn and the like emergency horn. So after hours and hours and hours, it was finally coming together, and I low-key was getting so excited. I was also exhausted because it was super late at night at this point, but I was so pumped. Instead of just showing you the audio and it'd be super boring, I thought, hey, I actually did go on a cruise for the first time, and I did take a lot of pictures and videos. So you'll get to hear the song and actually see what my adventures were on the cruise. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you want to see another video like this, and we'll see you guys next time.